Can we get a moment of silence for our boy Pedro, who sacrificed his life honorably for our cause?
Just X.
Okay, so this chapter was actually quite entertaining to read. Not only did we get to see Perospero personally take action, who has a bounty of 700 million by the way, that's amazing, but we also got a brief clash between Katakuri and Luffy as well. So starting off with Perospero, this guy is actually a monster. Like, the way he uses his fruit, it feels like he can do pretty much anything. Not only can he construct massive structures and objects, but he can solidify you and turn you into a candy man, as well as form massive amounts of candy to trap you in place, even in the sea. I don't know, I just found it really entertaining to watch all the different things he came up with page after page. Like, he applied so much pressure on the Straw Hats that it required a sacrifice just to give us some breathing room. And then you got Katakuri as well. Like, Jesus Christ, Katakuri is the definition of a monster. Like, he is a true beast. Like, I can't even explain how powerful this guy seems to be. Like, if you just look at his clash with Luffy, not only is he able to stretch his body like Luffy is, so Luffy doesn't really have an advantage in range against Katakuri anymore, but Katakuri's version of this has the potential to trap you in place as well. Like, although we didn't see him completely obliterate Luffy, because obviously we need Luffy to be able to make it onto the ship and set sail for story purposes, but you can't deny how powerful Katakuri seems to be with his fruit. Like, even though Oda has cleared up the fact that his fruit is a paramecia, I'm still finding it hard to believe that this guy isn't a Logia. Like, the fact that Luffy was punching him and landing his hits directly, yet they just seem to be going straight through him. Like, this fruit is dangerously close to Logia territory. But here's the thing, with a Logia, when you use Haki, you're supposed to be able to hit them, right? It seems like Katakuri doesn't even need to follow those rules either, because Luffy was using Hawk Gatling when he was punching Katakuri, and although we can't physically see his hands during that attack, I'm pretty sure Hawk Gatling is an attack that uses Armament Haki. So the fact that even this attack doesn't affect Katakuri is insane. Like, this guy is actually a monster. You guys can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong about Hawk Gatling using Haki or not, but I'm pretty sure every other time we've seen Hawk Gatling, it's used Haki. As well as the fact that Luffy used Haki in attack previous to this when he clashed with Katakuri, so it would make absolutely no sense for him to then revert back to ordinary punches. But bruh, it's actually crazy seeing Katakuri in action, because what he does is he allows Luffy to hit him at specific times which are beneficial to him, and then traps Luffy's arm within his body when it connects, and then uses that as a way to get a free attack on Luffy. Like, I physically can't see any way for Luffy to beat a guy like Katakuri in his current state. But then here's where I look at this and think, what kind of emotion is Oda trying to make us feel right now? Like, this is supposed to be an extremely desperate situation where we're surrounded on all sides with no way out, right? Everyone in the crew is scrambling around trying to give us an opportunity to escape, but in such desperate times, Luffy isn't even in Gear 2nd yet. Like, why is he fighting in his base form? It just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, Katakuri is strong enough where he'll be able to deal with Luffy either way, but come on, like, think about it like this. If you're running away from a criminal, even though you know for 100% certainty that that criminal is faster than you, you're not just gonna think, fuck it, let me just run at 50% my max speed. No, you're gonna be running for your goddamn life. This ain't a game. You could bring in the argument that Luffy doesn't want to destroy the ship, which is why he's only in his base form, and I would understand and agree with that argument if we were talking about Gear 3rd or 4th, but I'm almost certain that Luffy has enough control over Gear 2nd by this point that he won't destroy his own ship. But you can let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. So yeah, let's move on to the Pedro stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you, this came as a massive shock to me. Not the fact that Pedro sacrificed himself, because we all speculated that Pedro would sacrifice himself at some point during this arc. What surprised me was the fact that it happened in this chapter. Like, it just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it at all. Part of me doesn't really feel like Pedro is actually dead though. I do think he was knocked out along with Perospero, but I think what happened is that he was knocked into the water and he's going to end up being saved by the mermaid or merman Brook and Chopper saw not too long ago, probably Aladdin and the rest of the fishmen. But the thing is, when I look at this situation, I feel like we could have actually escaped from this right here, right now, if Sanji was actually with us, because when you think about it, Because when you think about it, throughout the chapter we had Luffy keeping Katakuri busy. Big Mom didn't really do anything, Nami, Carrot and all of those guys were working on the Coup de Burst stuff. The only problem was Perospero, right? So if we actually had one extra person like Sanji, who has been shown to be able to break Perospero's candy in the past, either him or Pedro could have kept Perospero busy whilst the other one worked on getting rid of the candy, whether it be Pedro using the bombs to break it free or Sanji using Diable Jambe. And then we could have used Coup de Burst to escape like we originally planned. So yeah, I don't like the fact that we're separated from Sanji in this situation. I feel like everything would have been better if he was here, because then Pedro wouldn't have had to sacrifice himself for us to escape. The extra person would have actually been extremely helpful. But yeah, I just want to quickly mention that I do believe it was the explosion that broke the candy, not the fact that Perospero got knocked out. Because if him being knocked out deactivated the Devil Fruit, then that means a whole bunch of things in Whole Cake Island should be collapsing right now as well. And the same thing would have happened when Cracker was knocked out too. So I'm assuming that it was because of the bomb that the candy got destroyed. But yeah, overall I'm gonna rate the chapter an 8 out of 10. It was actually a good chapter, it was really entertaining to read, but I do think there were a few problems here and there. Let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comment section down below, like the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of that One Piece content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
1.